I've been on the school board since November of 2010. This is my second term. A little bit about my background. I came here from Saudi Arabia. I was in the Air Force, and I took that one-year tour in order to be able to come back to the States, to the place where I wanted to be, which is Southern California, and allow my kids to attend school here for at least 2 years before graduating and deciding which college they were going to go to. So everything worked out great for me. In fact, I had a great career in the military. I don't like talking about it, but we did quite well in the military and met very, very many interesting people, people that I still get in contact with today occasionally. I owe a lot of what happened in my life as far as the military is concerned to a two-star general who took me under his wing many years ago, and he followed my career and helped guided me to the point where I am right now. But after I retired from the military, I decided to go right into the industry. But before leaving, I took a look at some things that I thought I would be interested in doing. While I wanted to do some things in the city, to be honest with you, I also wanted to make some money because, as most of us know, everyone loves the military, but we don't pay the military. So I got hired by PepsiCo, a great company. At the time, I was a little apprehensive about it because I didn't know that much about how large they were and all of the things that they did. But once I got on board, I found out that that was one of the best decisions and best as far as employment was concerned. I really enjoyed that. I had my own unit. I ran the logistics department where I worked, and I had opportunities to leave, but because this is the place where I wanted to be, I allowed that to, I allowed promotions and things like that to just go by the wayside and just remain here for my family's purposes. I thought about some of the things that were happening in our city, and had a chance to meet a wonderful school teacher, a kindergarten teacher by the name of Mrs. Underwood, who thought that I would do well on the school board. While I had looked at the school board, I was also looking at some other things in the city, but I did some research. I started coming to meetings to see what they were doing. And I thought, maybe she's right. This might be a pretty good fit for me. So I didn't know where to go to form a committee. So I just used my experience and asked questions, and then just went out, did some grassroots knocking on doors and just talking to people, making my own personal flyers and things like that. And the people responded by electing me on my first term in 2010. And when my first term was up, I had a little more backing then, and then I got reelected again. So I'm pretty proud of that, and I'm pretty proud of the decisions that we made back then. Education has been in parts of my family for a long time. My immediate family, though, no one has ever gotten as far as in education that I've gotten in. I'm talking about my parents and things like that, but I've had cousins, or I have cousins, who were teachers. And I always looked up to them, and I always thought maybe one day I might want to be a teacher. But then I thought maybe not. But my daughter is a teacher today, so it didn't happen for me, but it happened for her. When I look at young kids who apply for jobs, especially with our company, I take a look at their backgrounds in education. A lot of the folks that we hired had degrees, so we were hiring them as managers or as supervisors. But a lot of the other folks that we were hiring, they were warehouse people, or either drivers and salespeople like that. And we didn't require a degree. But every now and then I would sit in on interviews, and I saw some of the things that I hate to say amazed me. I thought there were some things that was lacking, and that a lot of the people that we interviewed were not really prepared for the jobs that we had available for them. And I attribute that to a lack of some good education. So education was always in the back of my mind. What could I do to better prepare a person like that? I mean, because a lot of folks were rejected. You have to take a look at, while you're looking at the board, you're talking to us, but you got to take a look at Dr. White. None of this would have occurred, I think. And I hate to talk about folks that were here prior to me, because I'm sure they were qualified. They did a fantastic job. So I'm taking nothing away. But because I know Dr. White, and I know how well she's prepared as a person, and I believe that she made sure that all of us, including the folks that work for her, knew exactly what she expected from each and every one of the teachers and everyone else responsible for getting these kids ready. But I owe her a debt of gratitude, because she's the one that built that foundation. And because of her, everyone else has fallen in line, and now their true talents are showing, because now it's rubbing off on our kids. I've never managed with an iron fist. People that have worked for me in the past, I've given them their instructions. I've told them what my vision was. I've found out what their vision was as well. We put those things together whenever we would have our counseling sessions. And then we would march out and do our job. I allowed them to do what I hired them to do. Dr. White understands what the district needs in order to educate our kids. Another thing that Dr. White does, she makes sure that she talked to us in a group to find out what's the group thinking, what did the group want. But the most important thing, though, is the one-on-ones that she has with each and every one of us. She gets that personal perspective from each of us on how can she improve not only herself, but improve the district. And that's the part that I like. I don't like this heavy hand, embarrassing people in front of other folks, embarrassing people even on one-on-ones, because if they're not doing something that you expect, there's a professional way to talk about that. And if that person is not connecting and not understanding that, then you proceed on and do something else. But in most cases, what I have found, that when you're talking to me and you're my boss, and there's some things that I need to fix, I'm going to fix them, especially if I know that I'm letting you down. Most of the people that recognize me just say hello, and I think they probably want to say more, but because I'm an elected official, they have apprehensions. Like, I better not say anything except hello, because, so what I do is, you can almost feel when someone want to talk with you. Well, sometimes when I feel that someone want to say more than just hi, then I'll ask them, how's everything going? And I'll say, do you have any kids in school? That type of thing. And we'll just start something. But the reason I do that, though, is just to get feedback from them as to what do they think about the district. I don't ask the question like that. I just say, what school you're going to? Like the young lady said, my brother goes to Armada. And I says, oh, I know where Armada is. I know the principal. How do you like it there? That type of thing. So I don't get too deep into it. But on the other hand, there are some people who will tell me what's on their minds. And one of the things that I've heard from at least 2 or 3 people, and 2 or 3 people are not a lot, but they want to know, you're an African American, what are you doing for our kids? Why are we not doing better? So that's one of the things that Dr. White and I have talked about, and there's some things that we're all going to be doing so people will be more visible. But by the same token, let me just go back to that question again. I only donate to one person. You have to feel people before you start coming back with them about questions. And I'll ask, what are you doing as a parent to participate? Well, the one that I did ask, she said, I do everything with my kids. So I guess what she was trying to do is just feel me, because I'm African American. I want to know, what are you doing for the rest of the kids? I'm taking care of mine, but what are you doing for the rest of them?